what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with my final video covering the Steam Fall Sale. The sale does wrap up tomorrow, and I thought this would be the most fun way to wrap up my series of videos covering the sale, and that's looking at super cheap games that you can literally buy by selling some Steam trading cards. Specifically, we're looking at games priced at $2 or less, so literally just selling a couple of Steam trading cards will probably get you enough money to buy these games. And these games are quite good. I'm actually very surprised at how many high-quality games are under this price threshold. Once the winter sale comes around, I'm probably gonna do a very more in-depth video on games that are priced super cheap, because I was seeing games for like 97 cents and thinking, hey, that's actually not a bad pickup. Games like Legacy of Kain and games like the Old Thief games, not gonna mention those here. But without further ado, 5 games for $2 or less, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with Costume Quest, which is 80% off for $1.99. Now, Costume Quest is a very quirky RPG, very thematic. I would recommend you guys to play this game during Halloween time. However, considering we just passed Halloween, yeah, timing isn't the best on recommending this one. Something reminiscent to, say, South Park The Stick of Truth wouldn't put it at the quality level of The Stick of Truth, but Costume Quest offers its own unique fun. By the way, there is a sequel out for this game, and there's a Costume Quest 1 and 2 bundle that's available for $3.99. Would recommend that if you guys want to get both games, but at the very least, give the first game a look, $1.99. Again, probably would recommend it to play at around Halloween time, but hey, it's still a pretty fun RPG. Moving on from that, really wanted to give a shout to Geometry Wars Retro Evolved. It is 50% off for $1.99, and I remember sinking so much time into this game and just the Geometry Wars franchise as a whole on the Xbox 360. They were available as arcade titles, and man, oh man, were they so addictive. Now, I will say Geometry Wars 3 is probably the best pickup, but that's available for $7.49, so a much steeper price point. Retro Evolved is still a pretty cool game. It's very simple in design. It's a very simplistic twin-stick shooter. It's casual, it's retro, but it's a nice game to get your mind off things and a very casual experience to jump in and play whenever you want. $1.99 is a great pickup. It's only 50% off, typically goes for $3.99, but still $2 for this game, would highly recommend it. Next up is a game I think a lot of you guys have never even heard of, and that is Advent Rising. It is 85% off for $1.49, and this is such a cool and underrated game, originally released, I believe, on the original Xbox. How I would relate it to at this point is like a lesser quality Mass Effect. I have a hard time even comparing it to Mass Effect, because I might get your hopes up a little too much, but Advent Rising is a game that just did not get a lot of love back in the day. It's available on Steam for just $1.49. If you want like a budget Mass Effect with a pretty unique story, I think you can have some fun with it, especially at this price point of $1.49. I would not pay anything more than this, but just go into this game being a little open-minded. Just bear in mind that some of the mechanics are gonna be a bit dated. It's just a dated game all around. Maybe I have more fun with it because I'm a little nostalgic with it because I did play it when it originally came out. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout to Advent Rising because I think it's a game a lot of you guys have never even heard of. But it's one that does deserve a little bit more shine. Again, budget Mass Effect or just an older Mass Effect. Mass Effect before Mass Effect, essentially. It's a cool game, and at this price, you really can't go wrong. Another game, this is one that I've mentioned before, but I wanted to give it another shout. Mini Ninjas is 85% off for $1.49. It was made by IO Interactive of all people, and it's a pretty cutesy action-adventure stealth game. This is a game that's really accessible to anyone of any age group, so if you want a game for, say, a kid, a younger sibling, Mini Ninjas is one that's really awesome, but I also found myself thoroughly enjoying it. Now, I initially bought this game at a full $59.99 price point, I believe on the PlayStation 3 when I picked it up, so you can understand maybe I had higher expectations, but even then I found some enjoyment back in the day with Mini Ninjas, and now for $1.49, if you just want a very charming, very cute game, Mini Ninjas will definitely have you covered at $1.49. Lastly, A Boy and His Blob is available 85% off, $1.49. This was a game that originally released back on the Wii, and I do believe the Wii version was a remake of an older title. I don't know the exact history behind A Boy and His Blob, but the game itself was ported very quietly to PC back in 2016, basically came out to no fanfare, and it is an awesome platformer. This is another game I played on the Wii, then I picked it up on PC. $1.49 for this is so good. It's super easy to run, but at the same token, it has a gorgeous art style that really complements the game and the style of experience that it's trying to offer. Once again, just like Mini Ninjas and Costume Quest, this is a very charming game, and that's usually what you see in these lower price thresholds. But if you're a fan of quality platformers, this is another one I would really recommend, and given the fact that it's down to $1 $1.49. Its original price is $9.99, which is already a great deal, but at this price point, I would say it's very good, and I don't recall this game ever being a part of a Humble Bundle either, so $1.49 for it is a great pickup. And that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Again, sorry I wasn't able to provide a ton of depth. I would have loved to do a 10-game video. However, a couple of the titles that I wanted to recommend, like some of the older Tomb Raider titles, are super cheap, as is games like Legacy of Kain, Thief, and a couple of other titles. I just want to reacquaint myself with those games and just play them for a little bit, and then do expect during the winter sale, I really want to cover a lot of these games that are very good and super cheap, to the point where, yes, selling a couple of Steam trading cards in the Steam marketplace will offer you enough funds to check out these games. And I know some of you guys just have a bulk of Steam trading cards that you could probably sell and get back, you know, $5 to $10, so you could check out all of these games very cheap and essentially free once you sell your Steam trading card. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. The Steam fall sale does conclude tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, so do pick up all the games you want as quick as possible, but do remember that the winter sale will be kicking off at the end of December, so if you don't pick anything up from this sale, do not fret too much. Another sale will be starting very soon. Again, that's gonna conclude this video. If you guys have a request for a future video, leave it in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.